In fact, I told you in the private chat, like I've got 9 production solutions that I think will change AEW around in 1 month, and they don't have to spend one red penny.
Well, you have 9 production solutions. Chat, do you guys want to hear Awful's 9 production solutions for AEW? I'm curious. Let's do it, bro. Let's give him a little jingle. We don't have a jingle here. We'll give you an explosion because we're about to drop bombs. Here's 9 production things they could fix per Awful Wrestling. Here, let's hear it.
9 solutions that they can do. You'll notice that I did not say creatively, because there's no way that things are going to be fixed creatively in the span of 30 days. So I just figured that there might be some production issues that they can correct and some innovative things that they could do productively to improve AEW in less than a month. Now, I'd love to hear your comments on this, Phil. Here's the first one.
Number 9.
Number 9. Close up the ramp and close up ringside. What I mean by that is that the staging around the ring, the space between the ring and the goddamn people is enormous. They construct that set as if Stone Cold is going to come down with the beer truck each and every week. You've got to tighten that space. You want people. I got a perfect example for you, Phil. ECW's One Night Stand.
Yes.
Think about when John Cena was coming down to the ring. Yep. Look how small that aisleway was. That's exactly what AEW needs to start doing. It's like the old adage: reach out and touch someone. You want to make your superstars or your talent feel like more believable as talent. More what's the word I'm looking for, bro? Bigger than life. Even though they're not bigger than life, but you want to have you want people crawling over you. That's the appearance that you want to show on television, that these are people that are going to smack you on the shoulder or whatever, and you can. And better than all of that, it doesn't give the talent the ability to to hot dog down the aisle, because they got to get straight to the ring, and it just gives that more competitive nature. That's the first thing. Almost like Saturday night's main event, what they did.
Yeah. With the tunnel, it's like the UFC.
Exactly.
UFC fight night, bro. Yeah, it makes it feel. This guy Truth Rises says people trashing AEW just bandwagon jumpers. AEW wrestlers kill it every time. We are giving the most dead honest constructive criticism that you won't hear anywhere else. I'm telling you right now.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. This will be the only time where I'm going to help out AEW, seriously. Because I believe that this stuff will work. Now, based on history 8. And how... number 8. I'm so sorry.
No. Keep going.
No more. Stop with the picture-in-picture. Kill it.
Yes.
Go straight to commercial. No more picture-in-picture. Because what you're doing is you're literally sucking the life out of the match when you had this gigantic advertisement right in front of you. You can't focus in on a small screen like that. So just get rid of it. Do your advertisers a favor. Do your revenue a favor. Give them the time that they've paid for. Don't try to sneak yours in there, because we can barely see it to begin with. And then when you come back, there's still that air of excitement. If they know what they're doing productively in between breaks. You already know how that goes. Like, you want to rest the match, and when you come back, kick it back in high gear.
So number 7. Let's go. Number
7. Fire Excalibur and Tony Schiavone. Fire them.
Yes.
Get rid of them. Put in Nigel McGuinness and put in Taz. Or like I've always said, back the Brinks truck up and find Joey Styles, whatever mountaintop that he's living in right now. But you have to show your talent. You have to show your audience. You have to show your potential customers that you're willing to shake things up. And you want to attract the youth. Tony Schiavone looks like a bum off the street that they throw on they throw a suit on this guy. Excalibur's no good because he rambles on and on and on and on and on over things that should be allowed to breathe. He doesn't do that. Fire them both. You save some money, and you do a better job with Nigel McGuinness and Taz, in my view. Okay, I heard Mark Henry talk about this one, and I totally believe it. He mentioned it in passing, but he didn't really go into it. But earlier ring setup and earlier walkthroughs. Do your quote unquote rehearsals or walkthroughs earlier in the day. Mark Henry himself said in an interview, I don't know if it was with Chris Van Vliet or another fellow, but he said that He would like to see them produce their stuff earlier in the day instead of 4:00 and 3:00. He was hoping that AEW would have their production start at 1:00, which is the time I believe WWE does the same thing. But those are the types of things. If you're trying to emulate WWE, you want to emulate something like that because it organizes your production crew, it organizes your staff, it organizes your cameraman, where they're going to be standing. You want to set markers for all your talent. You want to do all your in-ring rehearsals, your spots. You want to look over the match. This is the type of things that you need to be doing. If you're not going to be running house shows and you're only going to be working once time a week or twice a week, you want to do something like that.
Lucy Moody messages in, Tony Khan furiously taking notes right now.
I hope so.
I hope so. Okay, sorry. So number 5.
Number 5.
Number 6.
It could be in line with number 1, but stop the double ramp. One singular ramp, no good guy or bad guy. Yeah, excuse me. I'm sorry. Stop the double tunnel. Stop that mess. It truncate your entire stage. Break that thing down to a singular entrance so that it gives your talent, that singular focus. No one actually at this point, no one cares who's coming out of which tunnel. And there's no indicator that even says to people like, hey, this is the bad guy's tunnel. This is the good guy's tunnel. Get rid of it. Save yourself some money on some space.
I agree with that, and I will add to that a little bit. It adds, like, with the heel and babyface tunnels, it adds this extra layer of possible, like, storytelling or intrigue or nuance that could be there with these characters that Tony Khan is not equipped creatively to utilize properly, so just get rid of it. If he was doing it right, sure, but it's a great idea if you're going to do it right. It's a good throwback if you're going to do it right, but he doesn't know how to do that right, so just get rid of it. I agree.
If you took a look at Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance on Noah, I didn't see the show or anything like that, but I saw clips. Their staging is very basic, and there's not a lot of lighting going on. In fact, they kind of keep the mood dark. Maybe it was just for his entrance, but I've also seen that with Sadie's Monet when she was working out. Yeah, it's like there's a certain. That's a good one. No, that works. But yeah, I mean, so you can just mute, just turn down the staging, okay, and quit with the double ramp. Number 4. You've got to slow down the action. Let moments breathe in your television show. Okay. Now, in order for you to do that, you got to have your announcers, with a script in front of their face. They might have a production run on a piece of paper, but as far as like moments that happen, this goes back to the earlier rehearsals. You want to highlight the things that are most important to the match. I don't believe they do that because, as you know, Phil, you do the show during the show. They run through everything. They let nothing breathe. Coming up tonight, it's going to be this and that, and this, that, and the other. And right now, we're going to go backstage for Renee Paquette. No, dude, slow everything down. You know what I mean? If slowing down things ultimately means that you're going to have 5 matches total that night, fine, so be it. But make sure there are 5 good matches, and make sure you know how to write them correctly. All right, what is this?
2?
Yeah, This one is innovative. This is something that WWE is not doing. And I thought of this and I was just like, I think this could work. The talent's names or face on the lower third chyron the entire time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Phil's got a lower third chyron going right now that says PWT Live. That's a chyron. You put that at every match on every minute of the match so that when a passing viewer, somebody who's a non-fan, goes and clicks on AEW and sees, he at least knows that skinny guy right there with the long string of hair is Adam Cole. And the guy right there with the mask is Luchasaurus or whatever. Don't get rid of the chyron. Right. Keep it there the entire match. Don't make it obtrusive to the match. Put it on maybe on the top right or whatever. But they do it in football. They constantly have the score up. So why not put a little face of Adam Cole, have his name there, put a little factoid, just like what we're doing right now with this live stream, George Captor, and you know what I mean? Like the whole thing. You have that stuff on there. It won't cost you a penny, and it will at least give the passing viewer an idea of who at least they're looking at.
I agree with you, and also the UFC, like MMA, does that. And you think about it like this too. Let's say the Chiron's running, and then at one point it also says like earlier Bobby Lashley something, and you're scrolling through as a fan, and you might see a name that you're used to seeing in WWE, or let's say, right, you see Bobby Lashley, and you're like, what the Bobby Lashley's on this show, and that could work too. Just seeing the name written out, like, oh. Yeah. I don't know. I agree with you. That's a very great idea. Very innovative. No one's doing that. WWE's starting to use more elements of that here and there. But if they just have it throughout the whole show, at least throughout every match too, makes perfect sense to me. Awful. That's another brilliant one. None of these have been misses.
Oh, thank you. One of your chat members said, "Awful. Can they energy and have damage bars too?" If they want. I mean, listen, it might attract the 6-year-olds or 7-year-olds. Who knows? I'm not really sure, but you want to attract that non-fan. This stuff, I think, would work with the sickos. I think they would have no problem with some of these new elements. Anyway, number 9, every angle in the entire company needs to, I don't know if this is really production, but every angle needs to be expressed to be orbiting around the AEW belt and not around the company's perception or feelings about the company. No more talk about friendships unless I need your friendship in order to get closer to the AEW belt. I need your companionship in order to get to the tag titles a little quicker. You see what I'm saying? That's how you create the storylines as far as creatively. But every single one, and not to mention, we haven't seen that goddamn AEW belt in weeks. Did we even see it on the pay-per-view last Saturday?
I don't know, man. Like, it just feels so secondary and meaningless now.
Yeah,
and
they don't
I
show
agree
it.
with you. Like, at the beginning of AEW, that belt really felt like a prize. Like, Jericho was keeping it from everyone, and it worked. And then now it just seems like a secondary, like it's been thrown around. We've seen Punk spray one with an X and carry it around in a bag, and we've seen. I mean, it's just a meaningless belt now, and it
show
sucks.
off that belt.
Yeah,
I think the champions of the University of Illinois, the guy had it around his shoulder. It looked great. He has profiled that championship more than John Moxley has in the last 3 months. It's incredible. Yeah. The damn thing's locked away in a suitcase right now. Like, that shouldn't be. Highlight your championship.
Yeah, everything should revolve around that belt, but instead it always revolves around like, well, here's the Continental belt, and here's this other belt, and here's the Ring of Honor belts, and again, they just make themselves feel second important. Was that all of them? Was that all 9, or
actually,
one more?
10. I've got 2 more. All right,
number 1.
This one, I think everybody's going to enjoy this one.
Okay.
A company-wide directive to unblock all social media accounts, retweet and quote tweet AEW postings at least twice a week. This is for all of their talent. Unblock everybody you know. I don't give a shit if they made fun of you or not. Unblock them, ignore them, and I need you to retweet our stuff, our Dynamite, our Collision advertisements at least twice. If you're not doing that, you're in big trouble. Now, could you imagine, Phil, if every AEW talent out there were to do such an easy promotional tactic as that?
I mean, it would take not a lot of effort to do. And it's something that they've received a lot of criticism for, especially in the later part of 2024 from people like MJ from NJ as well. If you remember, Swerve called him a hoe. Like, unblocked him to call him a hoe, then blocked him again. Yeah. And I don't know.
Your
so I
talent's
just
got to have thick skin, man. You know, they can't be blocking.
Promoting.
Right. Yeah. You can't block Pro Wrestle Times. You can't block George Captor. You can't block the death of AEW and expect to really grow your audience, because we come with some cachet too. It's not a lot, but there are people that appreciate the work that we do, the things that we're doing, and they may want to check out your product, but you have literally them out by blocking them. Your talent has shut them out. Like, you can't have that. You just can't have that.
Chad Thundercock. Sorry. No, it's all right, man. Chad Thundercock in chat says, also, more social media training for the wrestlers. Ricochet is telling fans to suck his D before he was even a heel.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Chad Thundercock is outraged by someone saying, suck my D, bro. And Chad Thundercock, we definitely agree with you, bro.
Yeah.
We need to be less outrageous.
If I were Tony Khan, Ricochet would have got a $5,000 fine. and I'd have put that up in the locker rooms. Ricochet just got fined $5,000 for this tweet. Make sure you don't do it again. But you'll notice something, Phil. You'll notice that this takes a set of balls to do, and Tony just doesn't have it. I've got one more thing.
Oh,
you've got to excite your. It's the last one. You've got to excite your audience in the arena. How do you do that? Every big star that you've got comes out around 6:45, 7 o'clock, and they cut promos in the ring live to the people in the audience. They talk about what they're going to be doing tonight or whatever. So essentially, you want to do a promo class without the audience knowing of all the stars that are going to be there tonight. You warm up the crowd. You might have a match or two, but make sure it's a good match. But I don't think they're doing that. I think their show, they're just waiting till 7:59. They'll start the show, and that's that. You didn't warm up your crowd. But those are the 9 things or 10 things actually that I believe that AEW could do. Go ahead.
What do you mean awful? Tony Khan went out there and yelled at them about time cop for 25
Yeah, but
minutes.
that's not good. That's not good enough. See, that's not good. You're better off having John Moxley go out there and cut maybe like a 10-minute promo with all of his guys or whatever. Heat the crowd up. Make them excited for 8 o'clock to come rolling around. Tony Khan's not the guy to be doing that. He's just going to pat himself on the back, tell you about the next Dynamite, which is in some city they don't give a about. You don't do things like that. Cater to the audience in the arena first.
Well, everyone, round of applause for Awful's 9 or 10 with a bonus one. Things that he doesn't do to improve. Amazing.